The A616, also known as the Stocksbridge Bypass, essentially links Sheffield to Manchester. It is also said to be one of the most haunted roads in Britain. It's not so much the road that is said to be haunted, as the land that it's built on. Work began in 1987, and almost immediately construction workers began reporting strange goings-on. On the 8th of September, while still in the middle of its construction, 2 security guards claimed to have had numbers of sightings of unexplained and paranormal activity. It is stated that many children had fallen down mine shafts on this land in the distant past and perished here, their bodies never recovered. The security, while on patrol one evening, spotted, they said, was a group of children dressed in old clothing, playing and dancing in a circle in a field that ran along the construction site. Construction workers on the site had also made ample reports and complaints of hearing children singing and laughing in the area of their caravans. The 2 security guards nervously went over to investigate and then stood shocked as the children vanished right before their eyes. They ran over to where they had only seconds ago seen the children, and although the earth was wet and muddy, there was no sign of footprints or any other disturbance of the ground where the children had been playing.
A group of children running in a circle in a field at the side of a construction site. The time was round about midnight, and you just wouldn't see children playing there at that time of night when it was so far away from any houses. And the children disappeared. They were security men who'd been in the industry a long time. They knew the job. They had worked nights for a number of years, and not the type of people that you'd expect to be scared.
After returning to their car and still reeling from what they had both just witnessed, they then noticed a figure on the bridge, standing above them, watching them. While one of the guards remained in the car, where he was to keep visual contact with the dark figure, the other headed toward the bridge. On reaching the top of the bridge, the guard found no figure, but did find some loose sheeting moving around in the wind. After securing this, he made his way back to the car. The figure then appeared ahead of them, and the guards approached it in the car from the rear. Turning on their headlights, they were horrified to see the light shine straight through the figure. Just as the children had done, the figure had faded away, and the 2 guards hurriedly left the site and reported what they had seen to the police.
The next incident was later on that night.
Here, Stan, stop the car. Look, there's someone up there. Don't be daft. It can't be. Yes, there is. Look! You drive around, shine your lights on bridge. I'll wait down here. Right.
They immediately started the vehicle up, shone the headlights towards the hooded figure, and the headlights actually shone through the figure.
Oh, God.
Now, partly out of duty to do so, but partly because of the worked up state they were in, when they made their reports, the police decided to send 2 officers to see if there was anything they could find and to make sure there wasn't any children playing pranks on a dangerous construction site. At around midnight on the 11th of September, Police Constable Dick Ellis and Special Constable John Beat went to the site, opting to park close to the bridge where the 2 security guards said they had seen the figure. They sat quietly for about 20 minutes before, out of nowhere, Beat screamed at the top of his voice, swung his head to face his colleague. He saw what he said to be a man's torso pressed up against the window. Seconds later, the two officers said the figure quickly moved to Ellis's side of the vehicle, doing the same thing, then just disappeared. The two men composed themselves and quickly searched the area around their car, telling themselves that they had probably been the victim of a practical joke. They could see nothing and decided to radio for further assistance. Before they reached the bridge, though, they felt a series of thuds and jolts to their vehicle, and it was shook violently. Now completely and understandably rattled, the two officers drove away from the site as fast as they could and went on to make an official report about the unexplained events at the Stocksbridge Bypass.
Let's switch the radios off.
Right.
We sat in the panda car with the lights off, the engine off.
Seems all right.
We sat looking at the bridge, and after a while I was convinced I could see something moving about on the bridge. Not wanting to spook myself or John, I kind of looked at John.
Hang on. What's that up there?
Go and see what it is, Dick.
I actually climbed up the ladder onto the bridge, and there was a lot of things scattered about on the top of the bridge.
It's only a sheet of polythene!
Well, once we thought we'd found out what it was and what was actually on the bridge, we decided to give it another 10-15 minutes and say, forget it and we'll go back on our normal patrol.
I suddenly got this feeling, you can't explain it. There's this saying, somebody's walked over your grave which turns you cold. And I then became aware that somebody now had appeared directly on my right hand side and was virtually leaning and pressing themselves against the car. I managed to cast my head quickly to the right and remember seeing the upper section of somebody's chest torso and a clear V sign.
Oh my God! Look! What the heck is it?
I don't know. It's gone.
Is it?
When I got out of my side, not a person, nothing about at all. I even hit the deck and looked under the vehicle because nobody could have run away from us with bankings on both sides. Nobody ran forwards or backwards.
We went to start the car, and at first the car wouldn't start, and we started to panic a little bit. We drove off and radioed our colleagues.
There's a bang behind the car, which I can only really put down to sounding like somebody was hitting the back of the car with something like a baseball bat or a pickaxe handle.
We need help on the bypass side.
Things on this job have frightened me, and it wasn't the kind of fear that you get from violence offered towards you or anything like that. It was more the kind of dread feeling or knowing that something's happening that you've no control over.
There have been many reports on paranormal activity on the road since, including bangs on the car while driving as if someone is on the roof. Some have even reported hearing chains rattle. Others have said They have seen what is now referred to as the monk on the bridge, while other people have witnessed groups of children playing and dancing in a circle around the pylons. On New Year's Eve 1997, there was an official report of a couple who were driving on the bypass. When a figure appeared in the road in front of them, they had to swerve violently to avoid it. In fact, statistically, the road has one of the worst accident reports in the region, and there are reports of other figures suddenly standing in the middle of the road, causing motorists to swerve their vehicles.
I was driving along the Stocksbridge Bypass and the car started to become very, very cold. With this came a smell of musty bugs. Then all of a sudden a darkness appeared to the left-hand side of me and I felt very, very frightened. And I did pick up the spirit of a monk that had been there 500 years previous.
The rumour or the story is that one of these monks became disillusioned with the rather harsh autocratic way of life. He came here to Underbank Hall, worked the rest of his natural life here as groundsman or whatever, and subsequently when he died he was buried in unhallowed ground.
One of them left after 3 days and the other one stayed with us roughly 2 to 3 months, and neither of the two guards would set foot on that site again, even in the daylight.
The sightings still go on to this day, and for anyone who has an interest in ghosts and the paranormal, won't be disappointed should you decide to check out the bypass for yourself. Or, if you prefer, sit back and relax and join Sleepless Nights on a full night's vigil at Stocksbridge Bypass when they next return. Thanks for watching, and don't have nightmares, but remember, if you do, please share them with us.